Okay, I figured out what was going on here. I simplified the circuit so everybody could see what's going on. I basically have our pulse circuit, power coming in here. So right here, these rails are power coming in from the battery. I got my wire to connect up my negatives. I corrected my diodes, and I just used one cap here just to simplify things so that you can see. And I put this little core in here just so there's not big wires going around, but essentially it's the same thing that I had going before. Now what's going on is the MOSFET connects ground to one side of here, on and off, and then we have our positive to the other side of the coil. Now I had to look at my other video to make sure I hooked this up right, and I got it right. It's doing the same thing because I did it with the big coil. I was getting the 30 and 60 volts as I was connecting this, but this is just simplifying things. Um, we have 2 volts across the light bulb. The light bulb's lit. Okay. When I connect this ground, connect these 2 grounds, the voltage jumps up more than double. Okay. And the light bulb gets brighter. Uh, so as I was hooking this up and I was playing with it, I was trying to figure out where this thing was getting extra power from when I connected this up. I even had the MOSFET pulled out of there, the coil pulled out of there, I even pulled the chip out of there, and I was able to light that bulb by connecting these 2 grounds. Well, what was happening is the positive that goes to this coil, it was tricky on my mind, was going through the coil to the other side and through this lead, through the diodes and up to the positive, which gave me positive on my bulb. I was measuring, I thought I had a short between the board and everything, and this ground connection has a star washer and it's connected. But then I tried to figure out, why am I getting a doubling in voltage? Um, so this whole thing was being very tricky on me. So what is happening when I connect this ground to this ground is it's giving through the diodes. What it was doing is creating longer pulses on this until the MOSFET came on. And that's what's happening when I ground this. What I'm essentially doing is the positive is feeding through the coil down here through the diodes through my ground when the MOSFET's not even on. And then when the MOSFET comes on to give it a ground, it negates the diodes, gives me the ground across there, and gives me my pulse out. So that's why we're getting higher voltages. It's just a tricky thing. And it actually pulls more from the batteries. Um, but I just needed to show this. It had me going for a while. It had me going for a loop. I took the chip out of there. I had almost everything off of this board except for the diodes and these 2 wires here, and that's where I came down to it. Um, it was amazing. I mean, let me show you for example. I can pull this capacitor out. The wire here is not connected. We'll pull this capacitor out because that's just one lead pulling the back EMF off of so it goes out. But when I connect up this wire, bam, she lights up. We have 4.3 volts. Alright, now to show you that the effect that it's actually causing me to create a longer pulse across there, we pull out the light bulb and we have 30 volts. Now this coil is not going to give the drastic results like I was getting with the big coil between 30 and 60 volts, but she will rise. 36 volts, and this is with it off. Let me put the light on there because the capacitor is holding the charge. Put the light on there just for a second, and we're at 30 volts. Now we'll connect up this ground. 36 volts. So what it's doing is just creating a longer pulse across this until this brings it to ground. So I figured it out. It was a dilemma that I had, and a big learning process. Now on the other video, while I was making the video, I assumed, because I forgot that I made a change between using these caps. I had one cap here, and then I had one other cap going across here instead of having it directly connected. So before that video, it was isolated, and I had forgot that I had made the change because I had just seen the two blue caps there. But if you look on that video, one of the wires that's coming from the coils that goes here wasn't going directly to a cap, it was going directly down here. So that was my dilemma. I need to show you guys that because that's the way it is. And funny thing, I mean, I was measuring these screws that hold on there to ground, and I was getting like 1.7 meg uh, for some reason. I don't know why. I was getting a loop between here even after disconnecting this wire with this. Um, there is some kind of like 2 meg or so connection between this board and here. I don't know why, but I know that that's not enough of a conductive force to cause the light bulb to light the way it was. But man, was it tricky. But just wanted to show you the tricky stuff. Thanks.